So I'm just going to go ahead and share some tips and strategies to help you feel safe during these uncertain times. So it's pretty crazy stuff, right? We've got the 2020 countdown going on right now, or shutdown. I have my countdown. That sounds scary. But I have my 12-year-old and my 16-year-old, and I keep thinking that one day they're going to be older and they're going to be telling their kids, yeah, I remember when we had the 2020 shutdown, when we had the coronavirus, and we didn't have to go to school for a month or a couple of months, right? And depending on what they're going to do. But we've been through so many things together, and it's been, the world is a fascinating place, and it's full of scary things, and it's full of love and beauty as well. And so I just wanted to go through, I made a little list of things that I wanted to share with you that will help you feel more peaceful and at ease. So first of all, I want you to know that we're going to take care of each other. We're going to get through this, and we're going to be okay. I know it can feel really scary because we're watching all the news and what's going on, and we've never really seen things shut down like this before. The only thing that's similar in my lifetime is 9/11. So I remember, I've been in business for 25 years, right? I've been running my business, and I work with the public on helping them to improve their health and their happiness. And when I sat there getting ready to, I don't think I was going to work that day, but my wife was supposed to go to Chicago. She had a job in Chicago, and so we're sitting there watching TV, and we turn it on, and we watch the second tower live run, or the second plane live. Man, I can't get my words out today. I'm so sorry. I've got we watched the second airplane fly into the tower and watch it come crumbling down. And then my wife's like, well, should I go to Chicago? And I'm like, I don't think so. And then we just kind of sat there, and it felt like we sat on the couch for a month just watching TV like everybody else. Clients stopped coming in, people were worried, and everybody was just kind of in a panic. And then over time, it got better, and people felt better, and people felt safer, and people felt more at ease. And that's what we're going to go through this time as well. The worst case scenario for most of us, for the majority of people, for 98% of the population, is that you might get the flu, the coronavirus flu, and then you feel sick for a week or two, and then you get better. And so that is the good news. Now, of course, anybody that is, older and has a pre-existing condition, they're more susceptible, but they're always more susceptible. So sometimes we've got the only thing that's scary is that we're trying to shut it down. We're trying to shut down the spread. And so that means everything just kind of coming to a standstill. And that can be very scary. I mean, my wife's freaked out. My kids seem to be fine. They're hanging out with their friends. And I'm just kind of watching because I've been through this so many times in different ways. My job is helping a lot of people who've been through traumatic situations. And so I'm used to going through traumatic situations. And so when I'm watching something like this happen, it feels like, all right, this is another situation where we got to be resourceful. We've got to figure out what we can control and control that. Then we've got to let go of the things that we can't control and then have the wisdom to know the difference, right? That's the serenity prayer. And so even though it can feel like a scary time, these are the times where the human spirit prevails. These are the times where we lean in and we stick together and we remind ourselves of what we do have. There has never been another time in human history where we have had the ability to connect the smartest, brightest minds on the planet together through technology, to work together globally, to find a way to help ourselves through this situation. The human species has gone through a tremendous amount. We've had a very turbulent experience on this planet, and we've always gotten through it. We've always somehow survived and shined, and that's why the book that I was writing, Surviving to Thriving, is all about that. It's about going from surviving and being afraid and being scared and getting caught up in the worries, the what ifs, the unknowns, because that's always there, right? And then taking charge of what you can control. And, taking a look at whatever situation and using it to your advantage. As they say, when life throws you lemons, what do you make? Lemonade, right? And so this is a situation where we're being thrown lemons, and what are we going to do with it? Now some people are going to get scared and freak out. Some people are going to start blaming. Some people are going to get angry. Some people are going to stay calm. But I'll tell you, those people are going to do that anyway. This is what people do anyway. We all have developed our coping skills, our coping mechanisms for how we handle things. Virginia Satir was a very famous family therapist, and she said that when we're little, that there's five ways that we learn to communicate when we are little, and 4 of them are dysfunctional. And she said the first one is the placator, so that's the one who doesn't want to rock the boat, doesn't want to be honest, doesn't want to tell people what they're really thinking because they're afraid there's going to be conflict, and so very indirect, right? And because we're not sharing how we really feel about things, we end up holding it inside, and then we get resentful or passive aggressive, and so that's not a very effective form of communication. The second form of communication that's dysfunctional is what we call the blamer. And so the blamer is always focusing on it's somebody else's fault and always wanting to throw blame at everybody instead of saying, all right, what can we do about it? What are we going to do about it? Instead of being mad at who poked the hole in the boat, what are we going to do to fix the hole in the boat so that we all stay safe and get to our destination? Okay, but the blamers just want to keep blaming. The third level of dysfunctional communication or form is what people call the distractor, what Virginia Satir called the distractor. And the distractor is always getting caught up in stuff over here and stuff over there instead of really dealing with the issues that need to be dealt with here and now in the moment. So always wanting to sweep things under the rug or always getting caught up in someone else's gossip or drama instead of dealing with the elephant in the room. The fourth level of dysfunctional communication is when we become too emotionally aloof. So we call it the computer. So it's like this, so the computer is always just the facts, none of that touchy-feely crap. I'm not in charge of your feelings. I don't care how you feel. So they are the ones that say, I'm brutally honest, right? And what they're saying is that I'm very direct and I don't care about anybody else's feelings. Probably because they feel like nobody cared about theirs. And so those are the 4 ways that we communicate when we are stressed, when we are scared. We blame, we get angry, we go into denial, we want to distract ourselves, we go into self-pity, or we become emotionally so detached that you're not really caring about your neighbor or caring about anybody else. And so those are the 4 dysfunctional levels of communication. And then Virginia Satir said that there's one way that we communicate that brings the healing, that brings the love, that is the most effective. And she called that the leveler. She said the leveler is somebody who says, I'm good, you're good, right? This is what I need. This is how you can help me. How can I help you? What do you need? And we're communicating in a way that's very direct and gets to the point, but is also very compassionate and caring for how you feel and then how the person that you're conversing with, how they feel as well. And so that's what the leveler uses. So in the political debates, you are going to watch a lot of people do the blaming, right? And a lot of people are going to be going back and forth and getting caught up in a lot of politics, which is what turns so many people off from politics. In these times, what we need to do is make sure that we're coming together. We need to hold people accountable if they're being ridiculous or they're not being honest or if they're abusing their power, things like that. So, of course, we need to hold people accountable. We also need to make sure that we are looking for what we want more of, right? Whatever you focus on the most, that's what grows. Imagine you've got a garden full of flowers and they also have weeds. Every garden has weeds, but whatever you water is going to grow most. So if you're watering weeds, complaining that you don't have enough flowers, well, that's on you. You've got to focus on watering the weeds, or you got to focus on watering the flowers. I don't think I got enough sleep last night. You got to focus on watering the flowers, right? We've got to focus on growing what we want, paying attention to what we want more of. And so that means that we've really got to focus on what we can do to get through these emotional times in a way that makes everybody feel safe, in a way that makes you feel safe, and then in a way that allows you to help others feel safe as well. Because scaring people and going into a panic, how does that help in any possible way? All that does is cause stress on the brain. It makes your brain kind of shrivel in a way where you're not being resourceful. You're coming out of panic, you're reacting. That creates a mob mentality. And that's what creates so much fear out there that people go and and people that have more money go and buy up all the stuff, and then people that don't have as much don't have anything. That wasn't a problem that existed until people panicked, right? That was something that we created on our own. We made it worse. We watered the weeds. And what we need to do is remain safe and practical and reasonable, care about one another, and then also make sure that we're looking at, all right, what's our next move? What's the outcome? What's the positive outcome that we're looking for? Okay, so there's a few things that you can do that will help you feel more peaceful in this situation. And the first one is simply breathing. You'll hear people talk about just taking deep breaths, and it might seem like it's silly or insignificant, but actually, when you breathe through your nose down to your belly and you slowly exhale, and you do that a few times, it activates your relaxation response, your body's natural ability to feel more safe and secure. When you are using your power breathing, breathing in through your nose, down to your belly, slowly exhaling, it releases a little bit more dopamine in your brain. It makes you feel safer. When you feel more calm and safe, you can be more resourceful. You can use that brilliant brain that you have in a more effective way. If you're breathing through your mouth, holding your breath, hyperventilating, walking around all tight, then you're releasing cortisol into your brain, which means that you are not going to make your best choices. And you're not going to make the best choices for you or those around you either, right? We all live on this planet, so we've got to start thinking about how we take care of each other and not just what's in it for me. And so when we are breathing in through our nose, it slows you down a little bit. So then you can ask a power question. You can direct your mind onto what you want. What's the outcome that I want? How do I want to feel? What's one thing I can do to move myself in that direction? So it's a very easy two-step approach. Take a power breath in, then ask a power question. What is the outcome that I want? Well, I want to know that we're going to be safe. What's one thing that I can do to feel safe right now? I can say a prayer. I can slow down. I can call a friend. I can FaceTime somebody. In the age of technology, we are blessed that we can be connected. You can connect with people right from your phone. You can talk to people. We don't have to feel isolated. Some of my clients have reached out and said, I'm afraid that I'm by myself and I might slip into old behaviors. Why? Just FaceTime. First thing I tell them is call me, right? We can talk to each other. We can see each other. It's just the same as we are in person, right? We can't hug each other, but we're not supposed to be doing that right now anyway. And so, so you can stay connected with your friends, with your family, with your loved ones. If you have family in nursing homes, you can stay connected with them. We are in an amazing time. We didn't have that technology maybe 10, 15 years ago. You couldn't just Google somebody and have them appear. I couldn't just say, Alexa, call so-and-so, and then all of a sudden they would be in my kitchen, right? I mean, it's amazing the technology that we have. And so use it, right? Use it to stay connected. Use it to call friends. Use it to talk. It'll get people off of the news channels for a little while, because when we go into situations like this, a lot of us get glued to the TV. And I get it. You wanted the updates. You want to know what's going on. But sometimes too much of that, especially if you're watching it, while you're laying in bed or trying to sleep at night, you're not going to be able to sleep. Now that's counterproductive, because we need to control what we can control. One of the things that we can control is what we're doing with our time. Okay, so for me, I probably am not going to be going into the office for at least 2 weeks. I've got a lot of clients. I had a lot of keynotes. I had a lot of consulting gigs. I have all that stuff. And my concern is that it's probably not going to happen. So what I'm trying to do is switch it virtually so that I can continue to serve people and help them achieve their goals. We're just doing it the way that we're doing this right now, right? We're doing it through our video screens. And so we need to continue to move forward with the goals that we have, the things that we're accomplishing. We just are making some adjustments right now, but that's the beautiful thing about human beings. We're always making adjustments. We're always using our creativity. That's the cool thing about having these prefrontal lobes, right? The lobes that push my hair out of my head, because I used to have more of it. Right? These are the gifts that God has given us so that we can rise up in uncertain times. And so we didn't have these gifts 100 years ago, 500 years ago, 1,000 years ago. And so it's a blessing that if something like this happens in our lifetime, that we are prepared to handle it. And that's good. So, okay. So one of the things that we can do then is start to look at what can we control. If you're going to be cooped up in the house for a little while, think of it as Christmas vacation, or think of it as spring break, or think of it as a staycation. Take a look at the piles that you have and start to get things cleaned up. All right, turn on some happy music and start cleaning things up. Most of the time we're going so fast and we've got so much going on that we don't have time to clean our house or do things that make us feel more relaxed and peaceful in our spaces. And so this will be an opportunity to get the laundry off the floor, right? Or take that time to do a little scrapbooking right now, or take time to catch up. You know, my family and I were hanging out together and playing board games and watching movies and having fun in that way. And because that's what you do, right? We want our kids to feel safe. We want to feel safe. So we look at all right, well, what can we control? This also means not sabotaging yourself, right? People will start to say, well, I'm freaked out, so I'm going to eat more even though my goal is to lose weight, or I'm going to smoke more even though my goal is, not to smoke anymore, or, I'm not going to use any of my relaxation techniques or strategies because, this is going on. No. All the training, especially if you're a part of our Achiever family, all of the training is designed to prepare you for these times, right? So all the things that you've learned through our programs, through my books, through the audios, through live coaching, that's when you use it. You use this stuff now, right? Now is when we put this stuff into action. And so this is the time that you continue to eat healthy. This is the time that you continue to use your hypnosis programs if you just quit smoking through my program. This is the time that you're using my audio programs when you are if you're feeling more anxiety so that you feel more safe. This is when you use your power breathing, your power tools, your power questions. This is when you go through and do the online programs. This is when you take time to invest in your health, right? So if you're not sleeping, go to indiehypnosis.com and buy the Sound Sleep Hypnosis program and then listen to it. So it will calm your mind and help you have more restful sleep, which will boost your immune system, okay? This is the stuff that I say all the time. Whether we're having a coronavirus or not, these are the things that I talk about all the time, every single day. And so, of course, I'm going to keep talking about it when we need it most. Of course, I'm going to talk about how you need to improve your sleep. You've got to continue to eat healthy, drink water, get your rest, use your relaxation, be loving to yourself, be encouraging to yourself, be supportive to yourself, and then do all of those things for those around you as well, even if it's over the telephone. Of course, I'm going to tell you that because that's what I've always been telling you. Okay? And that's what I'm doing too, because we're all in this together. So we want to make sure that we're not using this situation as an excuse to retreat and go back to old sabotaging habits, because how is smoking or eating a bunch of junk going to improve your immune system? Because at the end of the day, isn't that what we need to do right now? Be as healthy as possible, right? We need to stay as healthy as possible. And in order to do that, we've got to do things that give us energy, that give us vitality, right? And so those are all the things that we can control. Right? We can't control what's going on with the coronavirus and the spread, or whether, we have enough tests or not. We obviously don't have enough tests yet, right? So that's still a bit of a mess. We can't control that though. Like you and I can't control that. However, we can control what we put into our body. We can control if we decide to drink water instead of soda. We can control whether we wash our hands a little bit more. Right? We can control whether we get up and exercise. You know what I did when I got up this morning? I exercised. I did my push-ups, did my sit-ups, found a new curl bar and did some curls, and then I was on the elliptical machine for 30 minutes while I was watching Netflix, because that's what I do in the morning. So I got up, it's Sunday morning, I got up early in the morning, and that's what I did, right? And then I started thinking about how am I going to connect with you and how am I going to continue to be supportive and there for you. So the other things that I'm doing is I got my phone on all the time now, and so even on Saturday and Sunday. So if you are having a really hard time, you can give me a call and I'll help you through it. Or you can, if you are, I've offered hypnosis sessions to help people with anxiety, smoking, weight loss, all that stuff for a couple of decades now. So I've been doing sessions over the phone for a long, long time. So this isn't anything new either. And it works incredibly well. I've had clients in Dubai and in the UK and all over the United States and in Australia, and it works great. I mean, the time difference is a little bit challenging sometimes, but it works just fine. My clients are getting the same kind of awesome results that they would if they were sitting right in front of me in person. And so if you want to stop smoking, or we're going to continue helping you to lose weight, or help you manage any stress or get rid of the anxiety that you might be feeling, we need to press on with that. We need to keep doing that, because what's the alternative? The alternative is either, you're just going to be where you are right now a few months from now as this passes, because it will, like everything else, this too shall pass. We will make adjustments, and we will go from surviving to thriving. But you're still going to be right where you are right now, or we'll get through this and you will not be smoking anymore, and you will be calm and more confident, because you get through this, you can get through anything, right? And you will be thinner and healthier, and you'll come out on the other side feeling stronger and more confident and in control and looking and feeling fabulous. So, I always tell people the next 30 days is going to pass. The next 6 months is going to pass. No matter what we do, where do you want to be at that time? Right? How do you want to be feeling at that time? And so we don't want to just all of a sudden hide under our bed. We still have our goals, and it gives us a sense of normalcy. We need to have a sense of normalcy. So think of this as being on a vacation. We've taken a week or two vacation before. So you take a vacation, and then during that vacation, we're going to focus on controlling what we can control. We're going to focus on getting caught up on the things that we can get caught up with, the stuff that we've been putting off. I guess I'm going to finally start working on my taxes, and cleaning up my office here a little bit, because it's a bit of a mess right now. And so being able to spend time doing that, and then hanging out with the kids and spending more time with them now that they're here, instead of always, doing their activities, it's a real opportunity, right? And so for you, continue with your fitness, continue eating healthy, continue reaching out. I have clients I consider my friends, that are, all over the place. They're in government. They're managers of Walmarts. They're leaders in their church, right? And so I'm talking to everybody, and I'm like, so what's going on, and what do you hear? And for the most part, everybody's staying calm and resourceful and saying the same thing that I'm saying, right? They're noticing that, yeah, we're selling out on toilet paper faster. And most people don't even know why that is. And it's because they think that with the virus that you're going to, have to go to the bathroom more. And so, but typically people are just afraid that somehow we're going to run out of everything, and then they panic. And it's the actual panic that causes people to run out of things. And so we're going to be okay. We're going to be fine. Control what you can. Don't allow self-sabotage to get in your way. Focus on the goals that you have and keep moving towards those goals. We're all going to have to make some adjustments, so we'll make them, and we'll keep figuring this out together. If you need additional support, then feel free to give me a call. My toll-free number is 877-944-HOPE. I've had that number for like 15 years, right? 877-944-HOPE. Locally, it's 317-502-5293. I live in Indianapolis. And then, of course, you can go to timshurr.com or indiehypnosis.com and schedule consultations or appointments if that's what you'd like. Okay, so if you have any questions, feel free to send me an email, tim@timshurr.com, or reach out through Facebook or any way that you can. There's a million ways of reaching out these days. So if you need anything, just reach out. Otherwise, just feel safe. Practice the things that we've been talking about. Use the tools. I've got a lot of videos on YouTube that shows you how to handle situations that come up that are uncertain and what to do. It's not, and how many times have I said it? It's not what shows up, it's how you show up. Well, guess what? Coronavirus showed up. How are you going to show up? That's what matters more than anything else. So when we control what we can, we're going to get through it just fine. So God bless you. Take care of yourself. Reach out if you need to. And I'll be talking to you soon. Thanks.